Hi, and welcome back to the Inside of My Head, where I'm doing my long-awaited follow-up to my theory video on what we can expect from Season 2 of The Black.
When you say long-awaited, do you mean...
What?
You mean...
What?
Long-awaited by...
You've got something to say? Say it.
Long-awaited by the armies of people sitting at home waiting for this, or...
What'd you have for dinner last night, Dave? Let me answer that for you. Nothing, because you're imaginary and I dreamt you up while I was taking a shit.
I love winding him up.
Okay, so most of my big theories were in my last video, which I will link to below. And wow, going back and watching your old videos is weird, man. Anyway, but this video is going to be more of a quick-fire theory vid, and I'm going to feature some of your theories in here too. Nah. So at number 1, I've got the kaiju have been sent to reproduce on Earth.
She's in my pants.
So something occurred to me the other day while I was making a Sisters of the Kaiju Explain video, which I'm going to drop real soon. As you know, the sisters are buying all the kaiju eggs they can find from Sean and God knows where else. And the eggs are something that we haven't actually seen before in Pacific Rim. Am I wrong?
You are often wrong.
Oh, fuck, are you grabbing?
You want some noodles?
Oh, I'm having a bad day with these guys today. We have seen that Itachi had a baby that ate Hannibal Chow, so we know that they aren't cloned, completely sterile. But this salamander-like kaiju right here is the first kaiju that I can think of that's ever been known to carry eggs. The eggs are very small too, I noticed, most proportionally akin to fish eggs, which could be an indication that they're designed to be spread in their thousands. So could this be a new tactic from the precursors? Let a few of these bad boys through the breaches and just let them spawn their eggs everywhere, and before you know it, the Earth will be overrun by big giant salamanders that can only be killed with an RPG down the gullet. This next theory comes from John Candib, who reckons that Boy might have been sent by the precursors to create a coexistence between the kaiju and the humans of the Black. That would be a big shift in precursor tactics, wouldn't it? But it would be a fascinating prospect. Perhaps it would turn out that the many years of war have been a heavy burden for some of the precursors, and some have splintered out of the hive mind, and Boy is a result of some sort of olive branch plan. Some way that this rebel faction can communicate with the human race and help overthrow the evil ruling class of precursors from within. Not sure it's going to happen this one, but as I said, fascinating. John Candib, if you're still lurking around the channel, thanks for the theory, and I salute you.
You ever wonder if you're wasting your life?
That's Debbie. She's the voice of my doubt. Everybody, Debbie, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Oh my god, what if they don't like me?
I don't like you! Another one of mine is that I think that these guys are going to be on the mission to re-establish the communications network that was destroyed during Operation Blackout. And I think that once that's done, then it's PPDC to the rescue. But on top of that, I reckon that May is going to join the PPDC. Because I started to think about what happens to these characters once this is all said and done, once this is wrapped up. We don't know it's going to happen in Season 2, but there's no Season 3 announced yet. So this theory assumes that Season 2 will be the conclusion, which in itself opens up a whole other can of worms, I know, but I'm going to come back to that later. But back to May, I can see her leaving her past demons and bad deeds firmly in the past. And whilst I don't see Sean making it out of this whole venture alive, he's just too evil a bastard not to get his due punishment, I think that she might wipe her slate clean and go on to brighter things in her future. We've already seen how she can handle herself at the controls of a Jaeger, helping out in the battle against Copperhead, and she did pretty well. So could she have a future as a ranger? Yes. It was a rhetorical question, and the answer is yes. Another interesting theory was from... I'm sorry, buddy, I can barely read my own language. He reckons that Season 2 is going to catch up with this guy from Episode 1 who went off to look for supplies. Make of that what you will. I personally think he's dead! Weasley Sherbeard thinks that the sisters are kaiju cultists who drifted with kaiju brains and got taken over by precursors. Yeah, it's quite a good theory, I suppose. I prefer mine, though. I think, yeah, mine. I think mine are much better, actually. But in all seriousness, though, gentlemen, thank you for the comments, and I salute you. This is another one that I picked out online. It wasn't even from one of my videos. It was from elsewhere on the web, so I can't remember who originally commented it. But somebody theorized that Sean turns out to be the pilot of Zeus Marauder. Oh, and I know that this guy is written up as Marauder Zeus on the wiki, but the thing is we never know whether it's Marauder Zeus or Zeus Marauder, because in the show it's never actually referred to by its name in its entirety. But if you look at most most of the other Jaegers, not all of them, but most of them have names with 2 syllables and then 3 syllables. Gypsy, Avenger, Saber, Athena, Valor, Omega. And no, I haven't just had a stroke, it's just syllables. You know, syllables. And I don't know, I just prefer the ring of Zeus Marauder to Marauder Zeus. Anyway, now we've dealt with that massively important issue, let's get back to the theory that Sean might have been the pilot in here when this happened. We know that Sean does have a military background, although it's never made clear what exactly it was. Oh, and he's Australian, and the pilot was also Australian. So, there's that. But poo-pooing the theory aside, I think that would actually turn out to be quite a cool thing. Maybe he was one of those husband and wife pilot teams, like in Tales from the Drift, and his wife died in this incident, and he just cannot get over it, so he's building his own rusty, zombie, nightmare version of Zeus Marauder to get revenge on all the kaiju. I don't know, like I said, I find it unlikely, but would be cool. My next one I touched on a little bit in my last video, but I reckon that Apex is gonna sacrifice himself to help Boy. Because there's something about Apex, isn't there? I already did an Apex Explained video that I'm gonna drop real soon, so I won't go into too much detail on him here. But there's something, I don't know, he just doesn't quite fit the formula, does he? Of course, there's the fact that he's a rogue agent without allegiance, and that's probably the majority of it. But experience has taught me that when something comes along and fucks with the formula like this, it isn't going to last. But no matter how it goes, this guy is going to have a key role. And given that he's struck up this kind of bond with Boy, after trying to squash him like a bug, that is, there's obviously some kind of hybrid kinship between the two. And I'm pretty sure that's going to carry over into Season 2. If I had to stake money on it, I would say that he would die at the hands of the sisters, who, as we know from Aftermath, hate kaiju hybrids and call them abominations. But see my Sisters of the Kaiju Explained video for more details on that. But then the question is, how would they actually kill him? I mean, he's pretty big. It would take 10,000 kaiju dogs to bring him down. Anyway, lastly, and this is one that I don't really enjoy thinking about too much, but this could be the last we see of Pacific Rim.
No! No, no, no!
So as much as I hate to be kept waiting for next seasons of stuff, I'm actually hoping for a nice cliffhanger ending to Season 2. Because a cliffhanger would indicate that there is more to come and that Pacific Rim is not dead. If we get a nice rounded off conclusion, like somebody walking into the sunset or whatever, where does the franchise go from there? As far as I know, Pacific Rim the Black was greenlit for 2 seasons. And beyond that, we just don't know. Now, the way that I would ideally like to see this play out would be that Season 2 would be the quest to find the kids' parents, and then Season 3 would be the quest to re-establish the satellite network and call in the PPDC for backup. If they're not busy with their own kaiju incursions, that is. What I wouldn't want to see is them trying to cram both of those things into one season, because remember the last one was only, 6 episodes? So it would feel rushed. But an even bigger issue would be, where does it go after that? So whilst my theory is that Season 2 of The Black is the end of Pacific Rim, I hate this fucking theory, and I wish it had never occurred to me. And honestly, the best thing you can do if you want to see more Pacific Rim stuff is just get involved and make sure it's the biggest success it can possibly be. Because then, at least whoever's making these shows will see that there is a demand. And you can start by liking and sharing this video, and all the other videos by similar channels. And yes, of course, you doing that helps my channel too. Okay guys, I'm gonna leave it there. Get subscribed to the channel if you aren't already. And until the next one, thank you very much for watching and cheerio, bye!